In this chapter of reproduction, Chapter 4, Module 4.3, I will cover reproductive heterogeneity, including birth intervals, as well as what is referred to as daily and cumulative parity. Consider the contents of this table that I use to illustrate daily reproductive parity, in which we have individual female on the top row, designating females 1 through 4, and age in the first column. There are 4 unique reproductive schedules here. 2 individuals whose reproduction is constant every age but at different levels, and 2 individuals with variable reproduction but specific age differences. The cohort averages at each age are identical despite the inter and intra-individual differences. There is also a twofold difference in total reproduction, with the first individual producing 4 offspring and the fourth individual producing 8 offspring. Each age there are 2 individuals that are producing either 1 or 2 offspring. The bottom line here is that neither the age-specific averages nor the lifetime total reproduction for individuals reveals much about either inter or intra-individual differences in age-specific reproduction. Now consider the contents of this table that I use to illustrate the concept of cumulative reproductive parity, in which the cumulative total number of offspring produced up to each age is the metric of interest. Note that the table at the bottom is from the last slide and used as reference for the age-specific reproduction for these 4 individuals. We have the individual across the top and age in this first column. For reference, look at the bottom table and you will see individual number 1 produced 1 offspring at each age, and therefore we go to the top table and we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is the cumulative totals by age. Then see in the bottom table that the individual number 2 produced sequentially 1, 2, 1, 2 offspring, and therefore her cumulative reproduction, shown in the top table, is 1, 3, 4, and then a total of 6. The same cumulative concept holds for individuals number 3 and number 4. Now consider the subtable on the right, where we have percentage in the cumulative offspring class. There are columns with the percentage of females by age that have produced 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, and greater than 6 offspring. So at age 0, there's 100% of the females that are in the 1 to 2 offspring class. Then at age 1, there are 25% and 75% of females that have produced a total of respectively either 1 to 2 or 3 to 4 offspring. Then at age 2, exactly half of the females have produced a total of either 3 to 4 or 5 to 6 offspring. And at age 3, a quarter of the females have produced a total of either 3 to 4 offspring or greater than 6 offspring, with the other half having produced 5 to 6 offspring. Cumulative parity sheds light on the differential rate at which offspring are produced among the individuals through their lives. In any cohort, there are typically a subset of females whose reproduction is consistently high, and another subset of females in which the reproduction is consistently low. This metric of cumulative parity quantifies this inter-individual variation in a different way than does daily parity. This next table contains the results of a study on daily reproduction in Drosophila fruit flies that are presented in 10-day age intervals for both daily and cumulative parity. In the first column, we have age in days. Daily parity for this cohort is presented in this first subtable. We have columns labeled 0, 1 to 30, 31 to 60, and greater than 60 for the percentage of the cohort that are laying these respective numbers of eggs daily. So the starting point is age 0, when 100% of the cohort have produced 0 eggs. Then at age 10, there are still 7.6% of the females at that age that have produced no eggs, but nearly a third, or 30.1%, are producing at that age over 60 offspring daily. Then we jump to age 40 and we see that 14% of the females are laying 0 eggs at that age, around 3/4 are producing between 1 and 30 eggs, but 0 individuals are laying at that age over 60 eggs per day. In other words, all flies have passed their peak production ages by 40 days. By 60 days, around 40% of the females still alive are producing no eggs. About 60% are in the 1 to 30 egg laying category. Now consider cumulative parity in the right subtable. We have categories of 0, 1 to 750, 751 to 1500, and then greater than 1500 total eggs produced by each of these specific ages for these females. So at age 0, of course, we have 100% that have produced no eggs. By age 10, there's a small percent that still have not produced any eggs, but over 97% have produced 1 to 750 eggs. By age 40, there's still a tiny percentage that are still produced no eggs, but there's over 2/3 or 67.9% that have produced between 750 and 1500 eggs. There's over 20% or 1 out of 5 females have produced over 1500 eggs by this age. By age 60 days, there are no females still alive that have produced 750 eggs or fewer. Over 60% have produced a total of 751 to 1500 eggs, and the remaining nearly 40% had produced over 1500 eggs. Now let's look at these data graphically. Here we have gross and net reproduction for Drosophila age 0 to 100 days. On the x-axis, and eggs per female per day from 0 to 50 eggs on the y-axis. Gross reproductive rate is depicted in the gray area, and this schedule is weighted by survival is given as the net reproductive rate shaded in black. Clearly, the heaviest average egg laying occurred around 10 to 15 days of age. This average number was reduced by half by 10 days, by over 90% by 60 days, and nearly 0 by 80 days and beyond. This next graph shows daily parity by age. On the x-axis is age from 0 to 60 days, and on the y-axis is the proportion living that are laying these different numbers of eggs at different ages. The 4 shaded bands represent the different fractions of individuals remaining alive that are producing either 0, 1 to 30, 31 to 60, or greater than 60 eggs each day. So we can see that around 7 to 10 days, there's huge within cohort variation with a small percentage still producing no eggs, but there's over 40% of the flies are laying greater than 60 eggs per day. By 30 days, no individuals are laying over 60 eggs per day, with the vast majority laying between 1 and 60 eggs per day, and around 10 to 15% laying no eggs. By 60 days, almost half of the females are laying no eggs, and only a tiny fraction are still laying 31 to 60 eggs per day. There are no heavy egg layers at this age. Finally, we see this graphic of cumulative parity showing the fraction of individuals that have laid a total number of eggs in these different categories. Again, with age on the x-axis and the proportion living that have laid these numbers of cumulative eggs at different ages on the y-axis. These bands depict either 0, 1 to 750, 751 to 1500, and over 1500 total eggs. At age 10 days, there are still some individuals which have laid no eggs, while at this same age, other individuals that have produced a total of 750 eggs or more. By 60 days, there are individuals that still have produced no eggs, but at the same time, nearly 40% of the cohort still living have produced over 1,500 eggs total. So to summarize these last sets of graphs, we have gross and net reproduction, we have daily parity, and we have cumulative parity, all of which show different aspects of the reproductive levels and patterns of a cohort of individuals. This ends this module.